Hello, people. I thought today might be a really good day to maybe show some beginners, maybe some old guys too, a little about reading Mirage because it's really heavy today. It's way too heavy to shoot. I was hoping I'd get an opportunity to do a little shooting, but I had some customers' rifles to work on this morning, which I am now licensed again as Starnes Gunsmithing instead of a long shot. I gave that business up a few years ago when I wasn't sure who the president was going to be. And if old Hillary was in there, I didn't really want to be tied to the firearms industry very bad. And my license just happened to be expiring. So I'm relicensed again for all your gun plumbing needs. Uh, anyway, there's some interesting things going on with the Mirage, and going to film it through triggercam through 5 to 25 ATAC R that's on my KDEX 375 ShyTac. And it should be interesting, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It might be kind of a long video. We'll try her and see. Okay, people. We're going to try to do this without too much heavy breathing so it irritates everybody. But I am kind of close to the microphone. But the first thing, most important thing, I guess, you need to know for long distance shooting is the direction your wind is coming from. So that direction, if we don't make everybody dizzy, is about 90 degrees east. It's pretty good mirage out there. It's blowing about 12, 15 miles an hour, according to the Kestrel. So you can see the mirage going right to left pretty heavy. So if you swing your scope around, going, you see the mirage is lessening. The waves are getting less flat, more coarse, I would say. I don't know, for lack of a better description. So we'll keep swinging around and around and around. And you can see that the mirage is still getting less and less coarse, or more and more coarse, I should say. Less flat. Look at this guy lying there. So we're almost into a broil, but not quite. I'm going to go past the horse trailers and catch it up, pick it up again here. Still going right to left, right to left, right to left. Right to left. And right about there. Right in that area. Now you're into a broil. That is about 195 degrees south. Right over top of that post. So now you've got a direction, or at least a general idea. But the cool thing is that I noticed today, and that's why I thought this might be kind of interesting to some people, because it shows it really well. Let's see, where did it go? This gravel road right here, see there's a hill there. It's a deep coulee, it drops way off below that ridge there. So you can see the start of the gravel road. And you can see, and I'll use my reticle to show you, you can see that the mirage is taking an upward curve here. That's because the wind is coming up the hill. It flows like water. So it's coming up the hill. That gravel road right there is actually straight. On any other day, when the heat wasn't so heavy across that stubble field out there, and there's probably a fair amount of humidity in the air, I didn't check that, but you can see how it looks like, almost like smoke from a campfire coming off right here and drifting up. Well, that is about, that's probably probably about 2,000 yards out there to that pole. I can get, let me lock this down. I'll check it real quick just for the heck of it. I don't know if this tripod will hold this rifle. There we go. 2,400. Trusty Sings. We got it. So, if we go to our distance in our Kestrel with a Shytac, we'll just do it real quick here. 2, 3, 4. There's 2476. 2437. You can see. Okay, there's 2,400 even. So if we go into the ballistics, that's one thing that's fairly important. And at 2,400 yards, max ordnance is 884 inches. Quick math here. So that's 73 feet. If you were to take a shot at telephone pole, you're going to be going 73 feet above line of sight in order to hit that target. So you're already, according to Mirage, that gravel road goes just above that yellow double. There's normal. That was Mirage pointed out. So we, I'm on a tripod. 2, 4, about 6 minutes, 5.5, 6 minutes, somewhere in there, of lift just from the Mirage at that distance. The other thing about knowing, well, I guess the more important thing about your max ordnance is, like say we were shooting here at that pole there. So you picture your wind like water. You can see how that wind is going up with an upward attitude there. That's going to lift your bullet considerably. Besides the refraction of the Mirage being higher, it's also going to lift your bullet. But here's the other thing. So 73 feet in the air, that power pole's probably 30 feet tall, I suppose. So if you went, say 70 feet in the air, somewhere in there, your Mirage is fairly flat. Now I'm not trying to figure out a calculation for this, obviously there'd be more to it than that. I'm just trying to point out that the conditions vary considerably between your line of sight and where your bullet actually travels through the atmosphere. So you may see your Mirage picking up here and carrying it to the left, but where your actual bullet travel is, the Mirage is fairly flat. And it's also a lot faster. You can see how the Mirage is coarse down here. The wind speed is not nearly as much as it is up here, where your bullet would actually be arcing in. So that's fairly interesting. And then as opposed to that, if we keep going back over towards our 90-degree east, there it is. No, that's the driveway. That's the neighbor's driveway there. That's 3,425 yards on that door. Ask me how I know. Anyway. Where'd it go? Yeah, there's the continuation of that gravel road where it came out. So, by the same token, as your wind comes over this hill, the mirage will actually start dropping because it has to fill that void. The wind has to have some place to go, so it's going to come over that hill and down and come along here just like if it was water. So just something to be aware of anyway. That's why I've been talking to some people about the quantum program, Doc Beach in particular, and asking them when they're going to get max ordinate on there, because you know, for long distance it's pretty important. You know, it's very helpful to know, and I mean even at closer distances. What that is might be a grizzly bear out there. Even at closer distances, if you're hunting in a situation like that where you need to shoot through a loophole, you know, so there's branches and you got a deer out there 600-800 yards, you need to know if your bullet is going to make it through there without, you know, hitting the branches above it. It's fairly important. Some of the other things I asked him about too, and I started this back when McAllis was shooting all the data for the ShyTac ballistic program. Well, I started shooting long distance before that, but I was in on that, not in on it, but knew Dean fairly well and was talking back and forth with him a lot about it. And the ShyTac program at the time, and I've actually got his old PDA in their wind calculations. It had gun wind, mid-range wind, and target wind. And not only could you put different speeds in, but you could put different directions in for each component. And it also calculated maximum ordinate and at what distance it reached maximum ordinate. So as awesome as that quantum program is, I can't believe that it would be, I mean, I'm no techie or nothing, but I can't believe it would be that difficult to program that into it. I'm not sure what that is. 3 of them now. We have a fair amount of grizzly bears out here, believe it or not. Out here on the lone prairie. That's my closest neighbor, though. Kind of nice. But anyway, not to bore everybody with a long-ass video, but I just thought it was interesting. It was a very good morning to read the mirage and kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about when I say it flows like water. It really does. It's a really good way to imagine it, just like this is a great big wide river and flowing. And if you look at the contours of the terrain, you know, and your time of day and whatnot, because, you know, in the evening you'll be getting winds that are going uphill because, or excuse me, downhill, because your air is cooling off. We learned that when I was wildland firefighting. You get downsloping winds in the evening, and it'll kind of choke a fire down, come back into the fire, and then as it warms up during the day you get upsloping winds. So that makes a big difference too. It's something to kind of take into account, just what your temperature is doing and all that. Those, I believe, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mule deer. That is way over there. But anyway, there's just a lot to it. What makes it fun, entertaining. So, hope you get something out of this. Talk to you later. Thanks.